quite a few of OEMs. So I would clearly say that it all depends on with whom we work. What is the nature of the OE with which we are working? See, as we work with them, we are into component manufacturing, so it's a repetitive in nature. Every day we produce, we supply in this kind of situation. So there is a continuous long-term interaction with the vendor, with the OE. So if we are working with a good OE, unknowingly, without our knowing, a lot of good culture will flow into our systems, right? And let's say if you are not working with not so good OE, not so good systems will unknowingly creep into our systems. So primarily, it depends on with whom we work. That's one aspect what we have experienced. And second is that of late, I think from the days of Gautam Joshi sir said, like we've come a long way, and the OEs are very much interested to develop the systems of the vendor. They don't bother whether we do one component loading, doing horizontal machining center, vertical pressing, forging. They don't worry about it, but they will be worried about the systems what we follow. For that, they will have mechanisms, they will push us to take IATFs, VDA 6.3 audits, and so many audit mechanisms. And we also see the kind of audit mechanisms, with the good OEs, the audit mechanisms also are changing their face. We see that there are less of fault finding and more of consulting or training kind of sessions. It depends on the company's philosophy. Every auditor would say in the opening meeting that this is not a fault finding session and it is a improving session, but they hardly do it. But of late we are seeing a couple of auditors who are coming with real motive of improving the vendors. And yes, they will end the audit with so many improvement points. Then comes how do we really do it? So that's where we will require a whole lot of white collar productivity, white collar people, which we did not concentrate all along. So we will require a lot of people who are able to produce the systems which are derived from common sense, put it on papers in the form of systems and procedures, then make them to practice and standardize them through the PDCA cycles, and then reach the excellence situation. So these kind of activities predominantly happening by the good OEMs with the vendors. On the other hand, everybody call that vendor is a partner, but the spirit generally ends by the end of the year because they have to take the cost reduction, and the spirit ends when they want to do some new development because they don't want to share any development cost, they don't want to amortize the development cost. So this partnership approach is a kind of selective partnership. Whenever they want volumes, yes, we are partners. When we want to cost reduction, yeah, okay. This is the kind of situation what is also happening on the other side. So I would like to. I was just remembering one auditor who mentioned. It's a very real sense. Like he says, I come to a vendor like a devotee going to a temple. I go to the devotee go to the temple to pray for himself, not for the good of the God. He will not pray for the well-being of the God. He will pray for himself. The customer auditor or the OEs also are like that. They come to the vendor for their good product, not for vendors improvement. But in the process, vendors standards go up, vendors systems get matured, and vendors improve. A lot of productivity will come in, a lot of process productivity, white collar productivity, everything will come in, and we get matured. This is what I would say, sir.
So, Umesh, you have been vending out substantial amount of your requirements from vendors. What you have to say?